Hello there. So I'm going to keep insisting with these videos. I'm really hoping at least some of them come out and I can actually use these and not have to tape them over again. And hopefully I won't get into a crash either. Anyway, I wanted to talk a bit more about editing. I know I did that other video on editing, and but I wanted to talk about why it came to my mind and some thoughts on editing, because I do think it's an aspect of translation that's very often put aside. I've actually met only one editor, one lady who said she only does editing, translation editing. I've met other editors who just edit in general. And she said she works from any Romance language into English. And that's all she does, editing. And anyway, the reason I got to thinking about it was I recently had to commission a translation to a translator who I like and I've worked with many times before, and usually she's very good. It was Italian to English, which is my language combination, but she was working on it. And yeah, I received the translation, and I should get an editor to go through it, but I'm going through it myself because I realize I'm actually pretty good at editing myself. But anyway, I'm going through it myself, and everything seems okay. I usually just kind of read through it once and kind of change a couple things here and there, but everything's fine, so I just do a quick read through, except I noticed at one point she missed half a sentence. And this really bothered me because it was literally da-da-da-da, comma, da-da-da-da, and she missed the stuff after the comma, just cut it off, and then that was it. Because this meant that not only I had to read it through like I normally do, but now I had to read through in comparison with the original, section by section, to make sure she didn't skip half a sentence somewhere else. And anyway, it got me thinking about how you really need an eye for detail. So if you're a person who has a good eye for detail, and maybe you do, say, Italian to English translations, so you're fluent in English, your Italian is okay, but actually you're very good at English. You're good at the grammar, you have very good attention to detail. You're one of those people who reads newspaper articles or something and every now and then notices the typo in a book or in an article or whatever, then you would actually make a very good editor. And I was thinking about this lady who only does editing. This actually isn't such a bad thing. A lot of people want to skip editing once again because it pays less than translation. But people who need editing regularly who are they? People who do technical texts, financial texts like big banks with $1 gajillion, legal texts, where you have to pay attention to all this stuff. And so these people pay quite a bit. So actually all these types of people who need regular editors actually pay quite a bit. These are the types of people who pay 12-13 cents per word for translation. So they're going to be paying, I don't know, 8 cents a word for editing, maybe 7-8 cents a word, something like that. And that's not bad for editing. So if you are someone who has good attention to detail and you're very good at your language and the grammar and the structure and all that, then maybe editing is something you should try to pursue. And I was thinking about it that actually I probably would have been good at it, and I should have got more into editing. I said this in the other video as well, that I probably should have taken editing more seriously, and I think it would have been a good avenue to pursue. So I think if you're someone like that, this could be a good thing to try to pursue. And because there as well, if you do, say, Italian to English translations, you don't have to edit just Italian to English translations. Like this lady, she does all Romance languages into English because her expertise has to be English, and knowing a Romance language, I think her language is Spanish or something, you kind of know the mistakes they're going to find with various other languages, right? They're Romance, so they have double negatives, which English doesn't have. You have, certain things you have to look out for, but otherwise they're going to be, you kind of know more or less the mistakes to look out for, and so you can work on the English text by itself. Like I was thinking myself, I could do Romance languages, I could probably also do German. At this point, I could probably do Chinese. In fact, my Chinese is probably better than my German. But, do these into English. So I only do the English text. But I know kind of the pitfalls that can happen when you translate from the original into English. So you could actually have quite a few languages that you work with, and you only do the editing. So if this is something that seems interesting to you, I think it's something you should try to pursue, try to look into, and maybe just call yourself a translator/editor at the beginning, or maybe just put editing. I don't know. Add editor to your description and see what pops up. This might be something that you like, that you're into, and that you're good at, and it'll be a different clientele, a clientele that pays a bit more. So you'll be getting paid for editing, but for higher end editing, which, by the way, means you need to do a very good job, obviously. But if you're able to do this, then it could be something worth pursuing. So anyway, I really hope these videos turned out and that they're not just a waste, because they're kind of a pain to set up, and then I have to re-record them later on. But anyway, hopefully you can find this useful. Hopefully you heard me. Hopefully you can see me. Hopefully it's not too distracting. And hopefully, you can use this in the future. And so please let me know if you like this video. Give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you like this angle or the other angle where you see me on top better. And because I'm not sure which one to do, or I'm probably just going to change it all together. I really need to get one of those stands that you just put on the dashboard. That would have made more sense, wouldn't it? Anyway, hopefully you can find this useful anyway, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, thanks. Bye.